So as a heads up, this is just purely a yap session, so feel free to look away from the screen. At the time I am making this video, only 38.6% of all PlayStation players who played Borderlands 4 made it to or past level 30. Since I got this far, and intend to only go farther than this, what do I think about the game so far? My opinion will focus on the bad and controversial, since most will already know about the good. I will also only point out things that I have experienced so far. If there's anything bad that happens after level 30, I will not mention it because I myself have not experienced it, at least yet. So now I will start with what seems to be agreed by a majority as a universal bad. It feels like the two worst parts of Borderlands aren't even inside the game itself, it's all around it. The main star of this part of the show being the CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, the head of the ones who made the game. This guy has been mostly, if not only, making bad PR moves and blowing up the situation around Borderlands 4 to be worse than it is. Silence can sometimes be golden. On to the next part, being the price. Yes, $70 in this day and age is nuts, and that's exactly why Hollow Knight blew up the gaming scene, for being so cheap in a day and age where everything is set at a premium price. Is the base game fun enough to warrant such a price in Borderlands? That's up to each person specifically, but for me, I'll say that the only thing keeping Borderlands as a whole afloat is that I haven't heard of any other game making weapons anywhere near the hilarious and chaotic nature that Borderlands does. Borderlands has no competition in its corner because no one has hit them sufficiently enough where it hurts. The guns. Yes, for a simpler answer, this means I will jump ship if another game is fun enough and has the funny guns. Up next are the ones that are controversial or some tiffs that I have with the game so far. Not all of them are severe though. First up on this round is the memory leak. I'm not informed enough to tell you the details, but the short version is that the longer you play in one sitting, the game will slowly go down in its frames per second. Though this roughly takes around 2 hours to kick in from experience, but I only start to notice it during the third hour. It does reset when you log out to the main menu and come back. I can only assume this will honestly affect people who have more time to spare than they should. I can't imagine anyone with a full life. We're talking about a job and schedule they need to keep to, home maintenance of any kind, cooking, cleaning, laundry, errands that they need to go out of the house for. I can't really imagine those kinds of people having enough time in a single day to really play for long enough in one sitting to see the memory leak in action. This still needs to be fixed, of course. But honestly, I started to believe that because of how much every negative comment was pointing this out, that the PlayStation would just explode after 40 minutes. And yet, for better, I was proven wrong. Next is a personal one, but I see some skills are more conditional while others are brain dead and easy choices. Two of the first upgrade choices you can invest in for Rafa, the character I chose, are simply damage boosting upgrades, while the other ones you can choose as your first upgrade are for reload speed, fire rate, or other perks that are only active when your action skill is active or after it fades for a set time. But those ones I personally feel have less value since in the early game you don't have all the perks that increase your action skill cooldown, so you're not activating it as much, and that means those perks aren't coming on as often as you'd like. I don't know about anyone else, but the damage boost seems like the best choice for early game, since you won't have to take cover or dance around the enemy as well if they're already down. I know that for something to be good, there must be something bad to compare it against. But some of these choices are a little too straightforward, even for me. Third on the controversial list is the accidental dialogue skip or being able to drown it out. While Little Boy and I were playing through the campaign, this skip part happened when the objective was to talk with the character Moxie, but right before I interacted with said character, a unique conversation was starting between them and a character that was in the location only during the mission. I only noticed I accidentally skipped it when I saw the subtitles appear. A little bit of a bummer, but this accidental dialogue skip has happened twice now. For the part of drowning out the conversations, we have this habit of standing around letting every conversation play out before moving forward. So for the first time I forgot about this and started moving forward while a conversation was happening. We immediately landed into a fight so noisy it audibly blocked out the dialogue entirely. I thought we were just being a little special at first, but whoa Nelly, did I not understand what we were actually doing. Sound balance is a little off kilter to say the least, even when you're just trying to play the game, not even recording it. And now for the fourth part. Jacobs proudly presents the early game of Borderlands 4. I assume this is actually because of a mix between weapon stats and my playstyle, but I've noticed that while you're still going through level ups, Jacobs' weapons have a longer shelf life than other manufacturers. I didn't even notice that I was 3 levels over my first green rated pistol, which was a Jacobs I got at the very start, because every other weapon I was getting didn't even match in the damage. Similar scenarios have continued to happen through my continued play. While I personally don't mind this because I enjoy the yeehaw aesthetic, I could only imagine it being a little more annoying jumping from a new weapon to an even newer weapon for players who don't enjoy Jacob-style weapons. The fifth and final part of this list is that alternate firing modes are the only other thing that can dispute Jacob's ruling position so far. I've gone through a good amount of weapons with alternate firing modes, and so far, the best thing to do to keep kills fast when you don't have a Jacobs weapon is to have 2 or 3 weapons with strong alternate firing modes and just cycle between them. Just 2 flat-off SMGs with zip rocket underbarrels was plowing through enemies even when mismatching damage types. Do it right, and you don't even have to bother with the base firing modes, since the alternate shots are just so much more powerful. Does this kill the game for me? No. But these are things I have noticed, and for anyone still on the fence wanting more information, I can at least bring this information to your attention if no one else has brought these up yet. Other than that, this is the end of the video. Thank you.